Then we have ampere. Then we have luminous intensity. This is also referred to as candela, that is ampere is A symbol, here we write it as mole. Temperature has symbol K, time has T, mass has M, and length has L. So these are the symbols of the fundamental units. And the statement I made is every other unit is a derived unit and it is some combination of these fundamental units. Okay, every other unit, every other physical quantity, every other physical quantity is a derived quantity and some combination of these quantities. Some combination of these quantities. So I explained to you velocity is L T power minus 1. Then momentum. Momentum is mass into velocity. So it will become M L T power minus 1. Force. So velocity is this much, acceleration is velocity by time. So L T power minus 2. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. So it is M L T power minus 2. Work is equal to force into distance. So it will become M L T power minus 2 into L. So that will become M L square T power minus 2. Work, energy. Energy is the capacity to do work, have the same dimension, M L square T power minus 2. Okay. Then power. Power is the rate of doing work. So that is work by time. So that will become M L square T power minus 3. Then torque. Torque is equal to force into distance. So it will become M L square T power minus 2. Okay, so like this, for every physical quantity, there is a dimensional formula. For every physical quantity, there is a dimensional formula. So for every physical quantity, there is a dimensional formula. So here we have dimensional formulas for certain physical quantities that we think we know. There are many more. We will learn how to find out. You are not expected to memorize these, but you are expected to know these. So in your exam, I can ask you what is the dimensional formula for energy, and you should know energy is what? Energy is like half mv squared. So it will have the dimensions of mass and v squared. So ml squared T power minus 2. So this is the dimension of energy. Okay. So energy is also mgh. G is nothing but acceleration. So m into acceleration L T power minus 2 into L. So that is equal to m L square T power minus 2. So this is the dimensions formula for work, for energy. Okay. So what we are trying to say is, irrespective of how you find out, the dimensional formula for any quantity will be the same. See, I found out energy as half mv squared. I found out energy as mgh. So whichever way it is, as long as it is energy, its dimensional formula will be the same. So irrespective of how you find out, the dimensional formula for any quantity will be the same. Okay. So what is C? C in torque. I'll tell you what is C in torque. Sir, in exams, how time will take, how much time will you take for one question? It all depends upon your speed. So should we put separate note for JEE Physics and NCERT Physics? No, one notebook is enough. Sir, slow first slide again, I will show you. Sir, you did tell dimensions and operations on them. Yeah, we are continuing. Just revision of this thing. Sir, can we take notes in our school long size note? Yeah, you could take. I would advise you to do it in a long size notebook. Sir, aren't we required to put square brackets in dimensional formula? Not required, but yeah, good way to put it. Dimensional formula for vibrational energy. For any type of energy, it is the same thing. Okay, torque is the rotatory effect of a force. We'll understand everything, we'll understand, don't worry. So let's go on. Yeah, so torque is not, this is not C, L, force into L. Okay, so first slide, here is the first slide. So first slide is that I have written down the fundamental quantities and the symbols for those fundamental quantities. Okay, now yeah, it's a good idea to put a square box and write down MLT power minus 2. Yeah, but when we are writing on the board and all that, there isn't much time, so we don't want to write. We expect students to be perfect. Okay, teachers don't. We don't have to write exam. You have to write exam. Okay, so don't worry. So it's a good idea to put them in a square box. It all depends on how much time you will have. Okay, so yeah, you can put these in square boxes. In most books they do, in some books they don't. Nothing wrong with it, but this is the best way to write it. Okay, now you ask what is torque? Torque is the rotatory effect of a force. Rotatory effect of a force. Suppose you keep your pencil here, okay, and you fix one end of it. Then you apply a force here. Now this will rotate. So that rotatory effect of a force is called torque. If you apply the force here, it won't rotate. As you go this side, the rotation will be easier. So these are simple experiments that I keep doing when I'm working so that I understand what they mean. So it is force into this distance. So force is ml t power minus 2 into L will give me ml square t power minus 2. Okay, so this is torque, the rotatory effect of a force. So when a force acts on a body, it has the ability to rotate the body. So that rotatory effect of the force is called torque. Okay, so we are working on dimensions, and then I was trying to explain to you how dimensions are being used. So dimensions can be used in many ways. So one of the ways that the dimension can be used is it can help you give you formulas very easily. So I am conducting an experiment. In my experiment, I found out that the velocity, suppose I take a string, I have a guitar, right? I have a guitar. So if I have a guitar and I pluck the guitar, so there is a wave which travels on the guitar. I find out that the velocity of that wave is proportional to tension. Tension is a force. Okay, tension is a force. Is a force that comes up in strings. That arises in strings when they are pulled. So I have taken a string and I have tied it between 2 points and I tighten it. So when I tighten it, T-I-G-H-T-E-N, I tighten it. So when I tighten it, what am I doing? I am trying to increase the tension. Increase the tension. Okay, so tension is a type of force. So now fundamentally we have seen that any quantity which is a force will have the same dimension. So now I have seen that velocity depends upon tension and velocity depends upon mass per unit length, which I have written it as mu. So now I want to know what is the combination, what is the how is it T into mu, is it T by mu, is it what is the formula? So I say that velocity is proportional to T power mu, T power x, velocity is proportional to mu power y, and I say velocity is equal to some constant into T power x into mu power y. Okay, so now let me first find out what is this. Is this a dimensional constant or is it a dimensionless constant? So when I looked at this T power x into mu power y, I found out that velocity is equal to root over of T by mu. It is equal to some constant into root over of T by mu. How did I calculate this? So I said that whenever I have any equation, velocity is equal to root over of T by mu, velocity is equal to T power x into mu power y. So here it is m power 0, L power 1, T power 1 is equal to tension. Tension is m L T power minus 2 whole power x into m L power minus 1 power y. So I can write this as m power x plus y L power x minus y into t power minus 2x. So this is equal to m power 0 L power 1 t power minus 1. So from here I get t power minus 1 must be equal to t power minus 2x. So x is equal to half. So once I get this, then I get the others. That is x minus y is equal to 1. So half minus y is equal to 1. So I'll get y is equal to minus half. So what it looks like is, it looks like velocity is equal to t power half and mu power minus half. So when I work it out, it is equal to root over of t by mu. So velocity is equal to root over of t by mu. Okay, so this is how I get it. Now I see that there is absolutely nothing. So this constant I find out, I do some more experiments and I see that the constant is equal to 1. Okay, so this is how I can find out. So concept of dimensions helps you arrive at formulas, but concept of dimensions will not give you constants, will not give us the value of constants. Okay, so that is the most important problem with dimensions. Say for example, again understand, not all constants are dimensionless. Okay, there are many constants which have dimensions. Say for example, I can tell you that there is a law which says that every body attracts every body with a force which is proportional to product of mass and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So this is a very famous law called Newton's law of gravitation. So every body attracts every other body with a force which is proportional to product of masses. So force is proportional to product of masses. Force is inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So combining these, I can say force is proportional to m1 m2 by r squared, or force is equal to g m1 m2 by r squared. Now this g is a constant. So now what are the dimensions of that constant? So on the left side, I have ml t power minus 2 is equal to g m squared by l squared. So now when I cross multiply them, the dimensions of g will become equal to m power minus 1 l cubed t power minus 2. So g is a constant. Now this is a constant, but it is not a dimensionless constant. It has dimensions. Okay, it has dimensions. Now the problem with this dimensional analysis is that it does not give you the value of these constants. Okay, so understanding dimensions doesn't help us find out the values, but it helps us find out certain equations. So study of dimensions is very, very important. Now whenever we are studying dimensions, we have to understand one thing, that in any equation, the dimensions of the quantity on the left side must be equal to dimensions of the quantities on the right side. So if I say that f is equal to g m1 m2 by r squared, this has a dimension mlt power minus 2. This will also have a dimension mlt power minus 2. So dimensions on the left side must be equal to the dimensions on the right side. Okay, dimensions on the left side must be equal to the dimensions on the right side. Any formula, if I say f is equal to k q1 q2 by r squared, this is Coulomb's law. This is Coulomb's law. So here f is what? mlt power minus 2. K dimension, I don't know, I can find out. Q1 ampere time by L squared. So from there I can say the dimensions of K are m L cubed t power minus 4 a power minus 2. So these are the dimensions of K. Okay, so these kind of questions you will be asked in your exam. You will have to learn to find out these. You will obviously not be given tomorrow to find out all these. By the time you complete your course, that is 12th standard, you should be able to find out dimensions of anything that we learn. Okay, so as we keep going, we will learn more and more, and we will understand this. Okay, so next question. Next question. It is known that the time period, this is for you to work, of a pendulum depends only on its length and acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. Okay, acceleration due to gravity. Find the dependence DEP and DANC, dependence of T on L and G. Okay, that means you have to find out the formula. So how do? You say T is equal to L power X, G power Y, and find out what it is. Yeah, please do this. It is known that the time period of a pendulum depends only on its length and acceleration due to gravity. Find the dependence of T and L on find the dependence of T on L and G. That means if T is equal to L power X and G power Y, then find the value of X and Y. Yeah, moment and torque is both the same. Torque is the rotatory effect of a force. Is angle a quantity? No. Yeah, you can carry on in your old note also. I have no problem. What should we practice at home? I'll start telling you now. Okay, so now onwards we are getting into more difficult things. So I'll start telling you from the coming week onwards. I will give you work that you should be doing at home. The term torque is used in motorcycle. Yes, the torque is used in motorcycle. Moment of a force and torque the same. Yes. Torque is also called the moment of a force. Yes. Is torque related to centripetal force? Not exactly, but yeah, in the same chapter. Should we have to memorize all formulas? You don't have to memorize, you have to be familiar. Okay, you don't sit down and memorize your friends' names. You get familiar with. Not understood what? Sir, in exam, we want to do at first. I didn't understand. What does mu mean? Mu means mass per unit length. Mu can mean anything. In this case, it means mass per unit length. Mu means mass per unit length. Mass per unit length, M by L. Yeah, I will show you third slide. Slide 4 and slide 4 and G, gravitational content. So will they give what are the units belonging to that unit in exam? No, they won't give you anything in exam. You have to find out. There is no difference. Yes, JEE physics, NEET physics, 200% are the same. Yeah, I will be giving you the seekers modules very soon. Yeah, so I have board exam starts on 15th onwards. Is mass per unit length related to uniform bar? Yes. Yes. Okay, so this is the first slide. This is the second slide where I wrote down the dimensions of certain physical quantities that we will be meeting. These you have already met in your lower classes. Lower classes, you already know velocity, you already know acceleration, you already know momentum, you already know force. Then you know work, you know energy, you know power, you know torque. In fact, you know current also, but current is a fundamental quantity. Then I am telling you, I'm giving you some ideas on how to find out some new things we found out. This is rotatory effect of a force. Mu is the mass per unit length. Mu is equal to mass per unit length. So it is mass by length. So it is ml power minus 1. So we found out one formula. Then I explained to you how to get it. Same thing I'll explain now here. So we'll face. Some of us are coming late to the class and then asking, keeping on asking. I will not allow this subsequently. Tomorrow onwards, I will put waiting room so that I will know who is in waiting room. Okay. So tension is equal, sorry, T is time period. Time period is equal to L power X, G power Y. So time is equal to L, length power X into G. G is not acceleration given to you. Its name itself is acceleration due to gravity. So L T power minus 2 power Y. So this will give me L power x plus y into t power minus 2y. So from here I will get 1 is equal to minus 2y, or y is equal to minus half. Because L plus x should be 0, I'll get x is equal to half. So from here I'll get time period is equal to root over of L by g. So root over of L by g. So there is a constant here. We cannot find out that constant by using dimension analysis. So they will ask you what are the problems with dimension analysis, or what are the limitations with dimension analysis. The limitation with dimension analysis is that you cannot find out the dimension of 2 pi. I mean, you cannot find out that the constant is 2 pi. Okay, you can find out the formula, but you can't find out the value of constant. So you have to do subsequent experiments to get the value of constant. So the time period of a pendulum is 2 pi root over of L by g. Okay, so this is how you get it. Yeah. Now we'll keep doing some more questions. Now there is a question for you that you all have already learned the gas equation. PV is equal to nRT. Here P is for pressure. Pressure, you know, is what? Force per unit area. So force by area. Force by area is pressure. So my question to you, what are the dimensions of pressure? So dimensions of pressure, ml T power minus 2 divided by area. Area is L squared. So I'll get m L power minus 1 T power minus 2. So these are the dimensions of pressure. Then V for volume. So what are the dimensions of volume? Volume is what? Liter cube, no? Liter into liter into liter. So that is one length into length into length. That is, so not liter cube, liter, meter cubed. So volume is length into length into length. So it will become L cubed. So this is the dimension of volume. Okay. Now N is for, N is a constant. Yeah, N is a constant, which is number of moles. N is equal to number of moles. Okay, so its dimension will be mole. R is a constant called the gas constant, universal gas constant. Okay, its value is 8.31 liter atmosphere per mole per degree Kelvin. Okay, mole per degree Kelvin. Liter atmosphere per mole per Kelvin. So what are the dimensions of R? R dimensions are L. Atmosphere. Atmosphere is a unit of pressure. So what are the dimensions of pressure? Just now we have seen. So liter is L cubed. Then m L power minus 1 T power minus 2. Okay, so liter atmosphere per mole. So by mole by Kelvin. Okay, so when I simplify this, it will become ml T power minus 2 mole inverse Kelvin inverse. So this is the dimension of R. Okay, this is the dimension of R. Here you have T for temperature. That is Kelvin. Now the dimensions of P into V. Dimensions of P into V is m L power minus 1 T power minus 2 into L cubed. So that will make it m L squared T power minus 2. This is the dimension of the quantity left on the left side. Dimension of the quantity on the right side is mole into m L T power minus 2, something is wrong, L squared T power minus 2 into mole minus 1 into K power minus 1, that is R into mole into K. So this mole inverse gets cancelled, K inverse gets cancelled, and what will happen is it will become ml squared t power minus 2. So what you see is the dimension of the quantity on the left side is equal to the dimension of the quantity on the right side. In such cases, I say that the equation is dimensionally correct. The equation is dimensionally correct. And whenever you write any equation, that equation should be dimensionally correct. Okay, so I hope you are able to understand. Pressure. Before you ask your questions, first you apply your mind and you think. Okay, don't tell me I don't understand. It's of no use. Tell me what you don't understand. R value you don't know because you've just started learning physics. So I am telling you, I'm not expecting you to memorize today. Tomorrow I won't ask you, tell me what is the dimension of R. No, it will take us long time, but I'm just sowing the seeds now so that you know that, okay, we have learnt about this in the lower classes. Now onwards, whenever you come across new quantities, ask what is the dimension of this, or try to find out what is the dimension of this. Okay. Yeah, so whenever you write any formula, that formula should be dimensionally correct. So this equation is dimensionally correct. Okay, yeah, so gas constant. What is your problem with gas constant? Does units and dimensions are same? No, they are the same chapter. Yeah, they are similar. Every unit will have a dimension. Sir, does the mass of the bob affect the time period? No, it doesn't. Derivation of the formula related to time period, I'll explain again. Hey, you were not there for the last class, Amira. You were there or you were not there? Last time itself, I started this thing, new chapter on units and dimensions. This is the first chapter. Repeat this topic again. Why? I am doing. Please work on it. Okay, it is very easy to say repeat, repeat. I will not repeat like that. Tell me what difficulty you are having. I will solve them. Yeah, I will show fifth slide. Angle doesn't have a unit. Okay, angle doesn't have a unit. All of you have studied it. Okay, let me go back. So enough of questions. Now let me go back. Here is the fifth slide. Where I was trying to explain to you that study of dimensions helps you, but it doesn't give you everything. It is just a small portion. So we have to conduct experiments and then we have to work out. So experimentally we have found out that F is proportional to M1, M2. Experimentally we have found out that F is proportional to 1 upon R squared. So now I need to know what is this constant. So this dimension, there's a constant here, G. So I'm telling you that G is not dimensionless. G has a dimension. What is the dimension? So because this is an equation, dimension on the left side must be equal to the dimension on the right side. So I am just reworking on it. So F is equal to what? F is equal to MLT power minus 2. MLT power minus 2 is equal to capital G M1 M2. M1 M2 will give you M squared by L squared. Now on rearranging, I'll get G is equal to M power minus 1. M by M squared is M power minus 1. L into L, L cubed into T power minus 2. So this will give you the dimensions of G. So I am just saying that every physical quantity will have a unit, and most of them will have a dimension also. Okay, so some values have values but no dimensions. Those are the dimensionless constants. That means there are certain quantities which are dimensionless. Okay, so that is one thing. Now somebody here asked me, why is it that angle doesn't have a dimension? Okay, so if you want to hear why angles don't have a dimension, I will tell you why angles don't have a dimension. Now what is angle? Okay, so here I have an arc here. angle, this angle here, theta. Theta is the ratio, it's a ratio of length of arc by radius of arc. Okay, so theta is equal to length of arc by radius of arc. Now, what is the unit of length of arc? Length. What is the unit of radius of arc? Length. So what will be the dimension of theta? It is dimensionless. Okay, so this is why angle is a dimensionless quantity. Okay, but one thing we have to understand when we have come to 11th, everything will not be asked by teacher, answered by teacher. Only less than 50% should be answered by teacher, and 50% you have to find it out for yourself. Okay, so start investigating, start trying to find out, only then you will learn it. Okay, so we did all this, then here I explained to you about the dimensionally correctness of a formula. So I took a new formula and I explained the dimensionally correctness of this particular formula. Now some of you asked me what kind of a question will you get in the exam. So here I will give you a question. So according to the universal law of universal gas law, PV is equal to nRT. Okay. Now there was a scientist by the name Van der Waal who made a correction to it, and his correction was this: P by A n squared by V squared into V minus NB is equal to nRT. P plus A n squared by V squared into V minus NB is equal to nRT, where A is a constant. N stands for number of moles. I have already given this to you. V stands for volume. Okay, so now I am giving you a question. What is the dimension? What is the dimension of A and B? Okay, so here I have given you a formula. I am not asking you for anything. I am saying that PV is equal to nRT, where P is equal to pressure, V is equal to volume, T is equal to temperature. Okay, and the question is, what are the dimensions of A and B? So can you find out the dimensions of A and B? So this is what is the question. Okay, so I will help you do this question. I won't do this 5 times. Okay, I'll just do this once. I'll expect you to put attention, pay attention, and then do. PV is equal to nRT, P plus A n squared by V squared into V minus NB is equal to nRT. Okay, so first thing I have explained to you already, whenever you are adding quantities, P plus A n squared by V squared, whenever you are adding or subtracting quantities, write down the notes. Whenever we are adding or subtracting physical quantities, their dimensions must be the same. Their dimensions must be the same. Okay, so P and this should have the same dimension. So if they have the same dimension, can I say that the dimensions of A n squared by V squared have the dimensions of pressure? So can I say A into mole square by length power 6 is equal to force upon area? Force is mLT power minus 2 by area, area is L squared. So from that, can I say dimensions of A is equal to m L T power minus 2 by L squared into L power 6 divided by mole squared. So when I simplify this, I will get m L power 5 T power minus 2 into mole power minus 2. So this is the dimension of A. Can we please work it out? First, understand that whenever physical quantities are added or subtracted, their dimensions must be the same. Okay, whenever physical quantities are added or subtracted, their dimensions must be the same. Okay, so I fluked and I found out that the dimensions of A n squared by V squared should be the dimensions of P. Then I have substituted the values and I want to know what is the dimension of A. So I get A is equal to m L power 5 T power minus 2 mole power minus 2 as the dimension of A. Okay, and now can you quickly find out what is the dimension of B? Can you find out what is the dimension of B? Okay, so B should have the dimension of volume. Volume is L cubed. So L cubed should be equal to number of moles into B. So the dimensions of B must be equal to L cubed into mole power minus 1. Right? So this is the dimension of B. This is the dimension of A. Yes? So this is where I say that studies in 11th will involve more of you working. So keeping on saying that I'm reading is not enough. Beyond reading, you have to be working. Okay, so working, it takes some time before you start getting things right. Okay, I'll explain again. So my formula is P plus A n squared by V squared into V minus NB is equal to nRT. The question is, what are the dimensions of A and B? What are the dimensions of A and B? Okay, so dimensions of A. So to get the dimension of A n squared by V squared should have the dimension of pressure. So from here, A should have the dimensions of pressure into dimensions of volume squared divided by dimensions of n squared. So dimensions of pressure is force upon area. So force upon area is mL power minus 1 T power minus 2 into dimensions of volume is L power 6 divided by mole square. So when I simplify this, it will become m L power 5 T power minus 2 mole power minus 2. So this is the dimension of A. Okay, so this is how I find out. Then the dimension of B. So dimension of B should be the same as the dimension of volume. So volume must be equal to NB. So L power 3 must be equal to mole into B. So B must be equal to L cubed into mole power minus 1. Okay, so this question came in your entrance exams and you are expected to work out like this. Then they will give you another very favorite question in your exams. Find out. Force is equal to 6 pi eta r v, where v is equal to velocity, r is the radius, eta is the coefficient of viscosity. The question is, find the dimensions of eta. Find the dimensions of eta. Okay, eta is called the coefficient. I am not teaching you coefficient of viscosity or anything. I am only trying to tell you how to get the dimensions of something that you don't know from dimensions of something that you know. So here is a formula given. I am expecting you to find out the dimensions of eta from the dimensions of the given quantities. Force you know, radius you know, volume you know, 6 pi is a constant. So you know the dimensions of that. It has no dimensions. So from here, get the value of the dimensions of eta. We don't need to know what is coefficient of viscosity and all that. See, whole of physics, we can't learn it in one class. Okay, so yeah, I'll show you 9th slide. So now will we get to know something is dimension? How will we get to know something is dimensionless? Yeah, if the dimensions of the other quantities on the right and left are the same, then you will get to know. I will show you 9th slide. I will show you. Angle theta is the ratio of length of arc to the radius of the arc. Okay, so if you go one full circle, what is the length of the arc? 2 pi r. What is the radius of the arc? R. So what is the full circle angle? The full circle angle is 2 pi. Okay, so this I did, this I did. Now I am asking you 6 pi eta f is equal to 6 pi eta av. This is what is referred to as Stokes law. Coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity is the resistance that a liquid offers to flow. It's the resistance that a liquid offers to flow. That means, yeah, so there's nothing more needed. So F is what? ml t power minus 2 is equal to eta into area, I mean radius L. Velocity is L t power minus 1. So I will take these to the other side. So the dimensions of eta are m L power minus 1 t power minus 1. So this is the dimension of eta. Okay. Yeah, so this is it. Okay, so this is what we need to understand. So different physical quantities will have different dimensions. So we need to understand these dimensions. Now onwards, whenever you write an equation, check if formula on the left side, if not formula, dimension on left side equals dimension on right side. Okay, so remember this. Okay, then if you understand this, then one more thing I wanted to tell you. Only thing is K is equal to A e power minus E activation by RT. Okay, E activation by RT. Now, okay, basically what I'm trying to tell you is this E is a number. It's an irrational number between 2.7 and 2.8. It is called the E is the base of natural logs. E is the base of natural logarithms. Okay, E is the base of natural logarithms. Now understand that whenever anything is raised to the power exponent, this quantity has to be dimensionless. Because this is an operation that you are doing, just as I told you, right, sine omega t. So now this quantity here has to be dimensionless. Same way even for exponents. Same way even for logarithms. Okay, so any quantity where you do a operation, that quantity will have no dimensions. Any quantity on which you do an operation, that quantity will have no dimension. So when you're doing this kind of an operation, exponent, sine and all, it will have no dimensions. So the equation of a wave y is equal to a sine omega t minus kx. Okay, question, what is the dimension of k? What is the dimension of k? So the way you have to understand is, look, whatever you have within this bracket is dimensionless. Now you are subtracting two quantities, so both of them must be dimensionless. So k into x is dimensionless. So the dimension of k should be L power minus 1. Similarly, the dimension of omega should be t power minus 1. So that when you multiply it with the time, the net will become both to the power 0. Okay, so yeah, I will stop here with respect to dimensions. We don't need more than this, but we need to understand that there are some fundamental dimensions, and those fundamental dimensions are very, very well defined. So they have told you what is 1 second. They have told us what is 1 kilogram. They have told us what is 1 meter. So you can't ask that question, sir, why is 1 kilogram equal to 1000 grams? You can't ask that question, why is 1 feet equal to 30 centimeters? Okay, so or why is 1 second this much? Why can't double of that be 1 second? So these things are all perfectly defined. Okay, so this is what I want to communicate. Now, if you have understood this, we will move on. We will move on with one fundamental note. Once again, we will write down that these are the fundamental dimensions and the symbols of the fundamental dimensions. So M for mass, L for length, T for time, K for temperature, then A for ampere, that is the rate of flow of charge. Then I have mole, that is the quantity of substance. Then I have candela. That is the luminous intensity. Okay, so there are these 7 fundamental dimensions which give rise to 7 fundamental quantities which are very, very well defined. So this leads to kilogram, this leads to meter, this leads to second, this leads to Kelvin, this leads to 1 ampere, this leads to 1 mole, and this leads to 1 candela. We will never be using this in our 11th, 12th, we will never be using. So the rest of the things we'll be using, and you can't question why is this 1 unit, because the scientists sat down together and they said, look, this is 1 for us. Okay, and you can measure these perfectly, very, very, very perfectly. To great accuracies you can measure these. So we understand this. Okay, so this is what I want to stop here. So we are not going to talk about dimensions now, but throughout our study of 11th physics, whenever we meet a new quantity, we will talk about its dimensions. Definitely we will talk, we will never stop with this. But here we will stop with this. Okay, then the next thing that I want to do is I want to check out what are the questions that are there in your head. Can you show the last slide? Yeah, PV is equal to nRT, weight is equal to m into g. Okay, I will show you the last slide. Here is the last slide. So please write this note and make sure that you remember these things. Okay, so I will show you all the slides once again. I am done with whatever I want to teach you today. In the next class, I'll teach you measurement. Fourth slide, fifth slide, sixth slide, seventh slide, eighth, ninth, 10, 11, please sit down and try to work out whatever we have read. Try to work it out once again. Okay. And only when you repeatedly read, our ideas will be clear. Just by listening, our ideas won't be clear. This is 12. This is 13. This is 14. And we stop today. We will continue again later and we will work later. So bye, enjoy the weekend, have good time. Okay, so see you.